Well, hello and a very warm welcome back to the channel. You join me in the middle of a family holiday in the French Pyrenees. We're right on the eastern side above a little town called Cherished. And in fact tonight I'm straddling here the French-Spanish border. I arrived at this outcrop of rock which is at about 12 or 1300 meters above sea level. Via a very rugged old trail which links France and Spain and was used during the Second World War by fleeing Jewish families from Vichy France. So steeped in history and just fascinating to think of the hardships that those people had to go through as they fled persecution in France during that time. But tonight the stars are beginning to come out. I can already see the Milky Way plunging down there to the southwest. I've had a good scout earlier for some interesting compositions on this outcrop behind me. So thanks very much indeed for joining me. Let's get on with it. Okay, so my first composition here tonight is quite a simple one of the Cassiopeia region, just behind the two peaks of this outcrop here, which will be probably silhouetted in the foreground. I might get some shadow detail there as well, but quite a simple shot, nothing that spectacular, but there's a beautiful part of the Milky Way there in Cassiopeia. I appreciate the main Milky Way event is very much behind me at the moment. I will be getting to that later, I promise. I'm shooting here with the Canon 6D and the Samyang 35mm 1.4 lens, and I'm going to do a 2-frame Vertorama, so I'm shooting in landscape orientation, one shot for the foreground, and then I'll do one shot for the sky as well, and then I'll play with the final crop factor in post-production. Shooting a 30-second exposure, ISO 6400, gets a little bit of shadow detail from the rocks. Might have to maybe boost the exposure again. Okay, I think that's looking quite nice. A little bit of shadow information available as well in those rocks, which means they won't be entirely silhouetted. There'll just be a little touch of colour in there as well. I'm actually going to shoot the sky shots for this in a little bit once Cassiopeia just gets a little bit higher in the sky. That direction is heading out to Perpignan, which is quite a big city in this part of France, and it's casting quite a bit of light pollution relative to the other parts of the sky. So if I can just wait an hour or so until it's a little bit higher up, I think that will make a much better overall image. Okay, that's the first sky shots going on the Milky Way. I'm shooting with a 24mm Sigma Art f1.4 lens, stopped down to, I think I was at f2.2, 2-minute exposure and ISO 800, which hopefully will be a perfect setting for how dark the sky is in that direction, which is to say pretty dark. Sagittarius is just beginning to set behind this ridge line here, and Rho Ophiuchi has now completely set behind the line. And that's okay, because the composition that I have in mind for this Milky Way shot is looking quite upwards anyway. So the foreground will occupy probably the first 20 or so degrees of the vertical height. Well, it's a pretty awesome sight from up here, and somehow, even though part of me would rather not see all the city lights in the distance over there, there's something quite magical about being just so high above those lights in the complete peace of the mountains here. And the skies are still fantastically dark. I mean, you can see the Milky Way core there behind me. The core's sort of just about dropping out of view now. The Great Rift is so clearly visible with the naked eye. I mean, so much structure in there. Bits going off to the side. It's I mean, really, really obviously contrasty. And the Milky Way really clearly and brightly just goes straight overhead through Cygnus, down through Cassiopeia, through Perseus, and then just start to hit the light pollution of Perpignan just above the horizon there. But I can't really complain about that sort of sky. And then to the north, the 7 stars of the Plough just look like they're really punching through there. Maybe a bit of haze to the north. These are the kind of magical nights that I just wish everyone got the opportunity to experience now and again. So I have a very simple single shot composition planned here with this small iron cross which has been bolted into the rock here. You can see the 7 stars of the Plough, or the Big Dipper, just behind as well. I think it makes quite a nice simple composition. I'm going to use the Samyang 35mm f1.4 lens for this, which I think will be quite a nice focal length to get the Plough nice and large in the frame as well. So I've gone for 15-second exposures and ISO 6400 in the end. Just a single shot with the cross in focus at f1.4, and then the stars of the Plough are just nicely bokeh-y out of focus. It's simple, I think it works quite well. So this is my main Milky Way composition of the evening. It was a scene that sort of reminded me a bit of some of those great Rocky Mountain Yosemite vistas. We've got the big outcrop at the back there with a row of conifers just in front of it, and then there's other outcrop just over on the left hand side here in the foreground. And I just thought it was quite a pretty scene. And about an hour ago the Milky Way was plunging directly down between the two outcrops there. That's when I was actually taking my sky exposures. So I am shooting with a 24mm Sigma Art f1.4 lens at f2.8, and I have shot 1 minute and 2 minute exposures. It's slightly darker over here on the left hand side, so 2 minutes will help me to blend those nicely. And there's a bit of light that is cast from the city of Perpignan to the northeast there on the outcrop at the back, so it'll take a bit of balancing to get those right, I think. I've also focus stacked these as well. I'm at ISO 6400 and f2.8, and I think this will make quite a nice, pleasing image, as I say, with a little bit of the spirit of Yosemite about it. Well, I always get super excited to see the Pleiades and the Hyades rising into the eastern sky. It heralds the arrival of autumn and late summer, and those wonderful crisp nights that get longer almost by the day. I love those constellations, and then in a couple of hours time Orion will start to rise as well. Absolutely beautiful. Get very, very excited about what the next few months will bring. I've had a fantastic night out here in the Pyrenees tonight. Beautifully quiet location. I've really felt like I've been above and away from everyone and everything. It's been fantastic just being above the cities out there to the northeast, with the wonderfully dark skies and the sounds of the animals from the woodland all around me. And hopefully I've got some decent compositions as well. So if you got this far, thank you very much indeed for joining. I'll put up on the screen in a few moments the images that I got from this evening. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, then please do consider doing so. And I look forward to seeing you on another Nightscape adventure very soon.